Hello. Today we are going to talk about how to deploy a Juniper Virtual-SRX using container labs. I've already posted videos on the channel regarding deploying various flavors of vendor platforms using container labs like Arista, CEOS. Likewise, even for Juniper Virtual Juniper Router, I have posted a video about deploying them using container labs. This video will just slightly expand on that to talk about how to deploy a virtual SRX using the same container lab logic. So the first thing, as you might recollect if you had already looked at the other videos for container labs on my channel, the first thing you have to do is obviously download the virtual Junos SRX image, which I have highlighted here. You can download this from the Juniper download site. The key here is you download it as a QCOW image. And once you have this downloaded on the machine where you have installed the container software stack, you have to navigate to this folder. Inside this folder, you will notice that there is a VSRX folder specifically given. You may also notice folders for VMX, vJunos router. This is what we were using when we were creating a virtual Junos router. We were putting the image on the vJunos router. In this case, because it is an SRX image, we will put it on a VSRX folder. Likewise, there are different vendors where you can put the image like virtual EOS. This is for the Arista that we were running. Virtual iOS is obviously for Cisco. So different flavors are available. But let's go to the next step. So this video will mainly focus on pretty much the 10 key steps that will be used to just bring up a virtual SRX for testing or learning purposes. So as we know, we will go to the vrnet folder. Inside the VSRX folder, we will ensure that the image that we have downloaded from the Juniper website is loaded. Now to create a compatible Docker image, you have to use the makefile option. Please refer to the videos on the channel about creating a virtual Junos router or Arista CEOS. It's a very simple command. You just use this makefile and reference this image. What it will do is it will automatically create a Docker compatible image, which you can verify with this command Docker image. So that is step 4. I have highlighted all the commands with the kind of a symbol, a less than symbol. So it'll be easy to know that what commands are being executed. So when you run Docker image, you can clearly see that a virtual Junos SRX is created with a tag. The next phase is to create a YAML file. The name could be any name. You just call the node as SRX. The kind is Juniper VSRX that you can pick it up from the Docker image list. And then the key here is under the image path, you have to give vrnetlabs because that is where we had actually placed the image first. And within that, you will call the Docker image tag Juniper VSRX. The key here is to make sure you give a colon and then the tag ID. So that is how you define the image path. Endpoints is pretty much just the links that you want to connect. In my case, it's just one SRX. I'm just trying to connect it back to back like a loop with the Ethernet 1 pretty much depicting Gigi 000, Ethernet 2 depicting Gigi 001. So I'm just trying to do a back-to-back loop. Once the YAML file is created, the next step, step 6, is very simple. You have to invoke the container lab command to deploy this YAML file. You can see that it is deploying as shown in the outputs, and then it will say that the Juniper VSRX is now healthy and running. So it should take just a few minutes and you should get it up and running. Next, you can again recheck it using the container lab inspect all command that will just list the device details. Here is the IP address with which we can SSH to the device, and the default username is admin and the default password for the VSRX is admin@123. This is available on the container lab portal webpage. They talk about the different default logins for vendors. So I log in with admin@clab. Just I'm using the name of the device, or you could use the IP. Once you log in, you can see that the regular Junos commands, show interface, does, show version, they all just work. The last bit is I'm just verifying the network that the Docker uses. The Docker in this case for my YAML file uses CLab. You can also inspect that with this command that just shows you the details of your YAML file that is up and running. So this is just a quick walkthrough of how easy it is to create a virtual SRX using a container lab, just similar to how easy it was to create an Arista CEOS or a Juniper virtual router. Hope you find this video useful. Bye for now.